Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. For today's episode, I'm joined by, well, nobody. I'm all by myself. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, future me?
Well, it's the Full Force Weekly live, is it not? It's difficult when it's when the shoe's on the other foot. I see how it feels, Pat. Very sorry, my man. Anyway, hello and welcome to the Full Force Weekly, episode 80. Why is that significant? Diagnostic 80. Yeah, Diagnostic 80. No significance really, but I mean that's not bad, is it? 80 episodes so far of the weekly. That's 80, give or take a few weeks here and there. 80 weeks. Like I said, I think there's been one. I want to say there was 1 week that we didn't have one, and I think that's not bad, really. I'll have to go back and have a look, but anyway, thanks for joining us, me. Thanks for joining me to do the weekly, guys. As I say, I'm on my own, but I'm never really truly on my own when I've got the all you amazing people in the comments watching along. So, hello everybody. Good morning, Ritz. Hello. Matt's happy Saturday to both of you fine gentlemen. What, me and also me. I tune in every Saturday and get a chance to watch this an hour before my shift starts. This is my calm before the storm. Well, I'm glad, Matt. I hope you enjoy it, my man. Who else we got? Jeffrey, good morning. Luke, good morning. And yeah, cool. And yes, thank you very much, Ritz. It is the big 8-0 today, and I'm celebrating by being on me Todd. Anyway, we've got quite a few stories to kind of get through. Most of it was towards the end of the week, and obviously I spoke about a lot of it yesterday in one News Burst Live. But you know, it's the weekly. We still have to cover everything. So let's start with that first news segment of the week, which was in Super 7 news.
Even though these particular figures were revealed a short while ago, we hadn't had any pre-order info other than mid-May previously. Well, BBTS jumped the gun this time and put the Super 7 Reaction female G.I. Joe Soldier troop builders up on their site a few days ago, and you can indeed pre-order all 9 variants right now, link in the description. Seeing as the other figures revealed at the same time are already in stores as we speak, including that sneaky Red Ninja surprise redeco, it's probably fair to assume we will be seeing pre-orders for the other troop builder wave of Cobra Snakelings very soon as well. Keep an eye on super7.com for the official reveal, but for now you can pop on over to BBTS to lock in your female Joes.
Yes, so BBTS dropped their pre-orders for the G.I. Joe Reaction female soldier troop builder, 9 variations. We have discussed this ad infinitum already of when the information kind of leaked, I would say. Well, not leaked, but when the information kind of snuck out early. Let's call it sneaking out early rather than leak. Leak always sounds like this really big, horrible, you know, illegal kind of thing. But a sneaky, just, you know, sneaky early release sounds a little bit more, you know, mischievous and fun. But anyway, yeah, so we spoke about this when they were kind of leaked. And then obviously when they were fully officially revealed by Super 7, we discussed it. And then we discussed it on a weekly as well. So this has had a lot of coverage, shall we say. The female Joes, the female troop builders, like I said, we knew at one point that this wave and the Snakelings would be coming in mid-May. So we didn't have like a, what's the word? Like a strict date, should we say? But obviously we're in mid-May now, and it's no surprise that, you know, one of the big two, like it's usually BBTS or Entertainment Earth, but one of those were bound to drop pre-orders before the, you know, the official, before Super 7 have them on their site, basically. So I would expect to see the Snakelings follow suit very soon. Of course, we've already had this wave hit stores. With Dark Cobra Commander, Dark Blue Cobra Commander, Flint, Roadblock, normal Roadblock, not body massage Roadblock, Firefly, Baroness in Black, and Snake Eyes V2 Sunbow. So, and of course that cheeky red ninja reveal as well, which was really nice. I still am amazed they managed to pull that off in this day and age, because it is so difficult to get things by all of these, but all of us, should we say, and all of the, you know, the people that are kind of like digging constantly to find these things online or in some sort of like leak or reveal or whatever. So yeah, amazing stuff. Anyway, pre-orders for those 9 variants are up now. What are people saying in the comments for a sec? Well, full force, says Rachel and Carlos Salinas. So yes, full force indeed. Thanks for jumping on, guys, or one of you. I don't know. There's 2 of you on there. Hello, David. Hello, Matthew. How am I doing, Action Figure Expert? I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Full force, double full force. I like it. 2. That's like full force. No Pat, Matt. No Matt. No, sorry. No Pat. No Matt. There is no Pat. It sounds like a blooming Dr. Zeus book. Yeah. Pat is busy sorting toys this weekend, so he's enjoying himself for a change, and of course he has every right to. So Pat will hopefully be back next week, and in the meantime you just have to deal with me today, Matt. Sorry. Oh, brilliant. Ritz says 2 reaction camo green shirts are for pre-order this morning on BBTS, pink and brown. Brilliant. Have they shown any images yet, Ritz? I am actually on their page at the moment looking to see if I can find any extras, but I cannot. Let me know if they've got any images, because we still haven't seen images of those yet, have we? So that would be a real nice bit of breaking news that I wouldn't be able to kind of do anything about. Actually, I might be able to throw it up on the slideshow, possibly, and then just rejig that. It would be a right pain, so I'm not going to do it. But anyway, no, I don't think there've been any images yet, but that's cool. So camo green shirts, 2 of are up for pre-order already on BBTS. Yeah, I'm seeing I can't see any of the camo green shirts on there. So I'll keep having a look. In any case, are you guys going to be picking up any of these particular figures? Let me know in the comments. Are you getting the troop builders, or is it kind of a little bit of a bridge too far for you guys on there? I could just type in camo green shirt, couldn't I? I'll do that. I'll type in camo green shirt in the search, is the word I'm looking for. Camo green shirt. Oh yeah, 2, brown and pink. Fantastic. No images though. That's good. That's actually a good thing. So thanks, Ritz, for the heads up on that. I feel like between Ritz, Luke Poulon, Adam, X Factor 17, there's a couple others of you out there as well. Keep me well informed. So shout out to all you good guys. Good morning to X Factor 17. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's just me that has to work, Matt, on this one. Just me that's putting the work in. Yeah, generic images, G.I. Joe logo. Thank you, Jeffrey. Yep, absolutely, for the camo green shirts. But that we can add that to this list of pre-orders, and I'll do a post afterwards to say the camo green shirts have gone up for pre-order as well, because, you know, right now I'm a bit busy. So there you go. What else have we got going on? Yes, definitely want the 9 different female engineers. Might have to buy them in small batches. 9 equals $162. I know it's an expensive hobby, this, isn't it? I suppose I would say actually all hobbies are expensive when you get into it in the kind of levels that we're into this one. They all get expensive. It doesn't matter what it is. In fact, this is probably one of the cheaper hobbies based on, you know, like lifetime, I would say, unless you're getting into like pre-production and, you know, prototypes and stuff like that, then yeah, it's going to get ridiculous. But I think in general, you know, it's not like skiing, which is very expensive if you're not living near, you know, mountainous snow regions, or I would say even like a dry ski slope, and then all the equipment you need to buy and maintain. So yeah, Could be worse, guys. You could all be skiing. Anyway, David, you're all in on this. That's amazing, bud. So you're getting all of the troop builders as well. That's impressive. That is impressive. Good power to you, my man. Hello, Sammy. Oh, brilliant, Matt. The other day I received my case of Adroit Theory glassware. Came packed extremely well. Yeah, if it's anything like the way they packed my first, the 16-ounce glasses. Actually, is that right? They're the smaller ones. I think the ones you got are the 20 ounces, right? Yeah, the 16-ounce glasses were packed beautifully. Really sturdy box, all in there, like separate, like padded, and then in different segments, like separated in the box as well, which was really cool. Real sturdy box too, and actually surprisingly light. I know it's they're not the heaviest glasses, but all of them together in a big sturdy box. I was surprised. But yeah, really well packed and really well shipped. They do a really good job, Adroit Theory. Oh, hello, Clothesline Media. Howdy, the Full Force Pod D podcast. I know. I love all of the I love all of the variety and diversity of Super 7. If we ever got something like this with standard articulation or classified scale, I'd need to mortgage my home. I think we will have to at this stage anyway. Clothesline. I could see. I mean, we've just got the Python officer reveal, haven't we, as well, in the classified line, and they've gone with the darker skin tone on that figure, haven't they? Which is great. So I'm kind of glad that it's difficult, isn't it, in that range to be able to kind of do that. Like when they're going to do the multi-pack troop builders, which they've talked about. Obviously, we've had the Viper 3-pack, but when they start getting into more of those troop builder packs, I think we'll start seeing different paint. Different skin decos, basically, on those figures. Joe Cam, I'm going for the 3 females with the bag so they can be Hawk staff officers. Didn't get done? Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, I think he did. You're going to get it based on that. Amazing. Payne's toy samples. I just can't get into the reaction. I had one in my hands for $8.99 yesterday and just put it back. The cards are great, but figs just kind of meh for me, and that's totally fine. We all this is the thing, isn't it? Like, these aren't for everybody. I will say I've been impressed with the figures out of the actual package, way more so than I would have thought I would have been, because I've never ever bought a reaction figure. I can't think of any that I have. I honestly don't think I have a reaction figure prior to G.I. Joe. So I'd seen a lot on card, and I'd seen some other people have them, in hand and everything, but I'd never really kind of dipped into that range at all. But with I tell a lie. I think we did. Kate has a Krang, so we had that Krang, I think, before the G.I. Joe stuff came out. But in terms of the rest of it, I was very close to picking up the Gem figures once in an FYE. I think that was out here as well in one of the malls. But yeah, didn't in the end. But if I see them again, I don't know, I might do. We'll see. But they're actually more impressive in hand than I would have given the credit for. But Payne, I totally understand it. If it's not for you, it is not for you, and that's totally fine and valid. Hello, Mom. Oh, just the one heart today. There's not another. No, no, this one's for me, unless you're just saying hi and you're hoping it's Pat there instead. Hello, Mom. Thanks for jumping on. Love you. Love to you and Dad and everyone. Loves the whole family. Love to Auntie Di. She celebrates her birthday today. So I will give a shout out at the end for my Auntie Di. Matt says 20-ounce glassware for the Adroit Theory. Yes, mine was 16. Yeah. Max, they're not far off, are they? They do cost almost as much as classified. Was it $17.99? And then, classified are almost about just under $10 more now, aren't they? What are they up to now? No, that's not true, because they're $24.99 still, aren't they? Still, it's close. It's close. Clothesline Media says, yes, expensive. I'm glad Joes and Transformers aren't cars. Because that'd be another one that you'd have to be spending extreme amounts of money on. If Reaction does a movie line, I'm in. And I think that I've got a feeling that's going to happen. I mean, we're in the 35th anniversary. The film's going to be in theaters. If they don't, then that is, I've called some, what did I call it last time? Like something negligence, like it was, what did I call it? But toy industry negligence if they don't do some sort of movie tie-in or movie related character reveals, like an Ultimates, or like even, I mean, Reaction they could do. They could probably do it now. They've got enough time to just bust them out now, haven't they? Yes, David. Look at Black Series. Look what they do with all the Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers. That's what G.I. Joe is doing. Absolutely. Love you too. Thank you, ma'am. See, it's going to go up there. It's going to go up every time. Hi, Chris's mom, says Matt. And hi, mom, says David. Yeah, awesome. Payne says, it may be a situation of me wanting a carded version and another figure I don't have carded, maybe then, especially at price point. Oh, totally. And the other kind of beauty part of it is they do quickly end up in, kind of like sales and like, like a little bit of discount kind of is applied to them. So keep an eye out for those because it does happen. I think Pat picked up one figure for like $5 somewhere. I think that's what he said on the last weekly. I could be wrong, but the people have been finding them for pretty cheap. So yeah, awesome. Matt, we'll be talking about that towards the end in the shout outs, but you saying CALLSIGN Longbow making Hasbro O-rings look bad. They cost roughly $3 more per figure, but they come on a nice card with plastic. And the more you buy, the better deal you get. Yeah, also, this will be a Kickstarter and, it's already like obliterated its initial funding goal. The figures look great. They'll definitely like mix in with your O-ring Joes. Absolutely. But yeah, and in terms of like, by the time their Kickstarter comes through, who knows what Hasbro will be doing with the O-ring line? Like, who knows where it will be, how many figures will be out, what they'll have changed to in terms of release schedule. Yeah, we'll see. Actually, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Because don't forget, you're just seeing visuals at the moment as well. It's not like you're going to have this product in hand quickly. That's the other thing with Kickstarters. So don't get as much as a big shout out to CALLSIGN Longbow and the guys behind it, obviously. But we will talk about that towards the end. But yeah, we'll see how it is in a year's time. Definitely. Okay, cool. In that case, then, that brings us to the end of the Super 7 segment. I'm going to try and keep this like comment mission specific. So once we move on, we're not going to be talking about it much anymore. I might grab the occasional comment, but we're going to move on now to the next segment, a news segment. And that is in Diamond Select Toys News.
This was a surprise for sure. Back in June of last year, we reported on a beautiful Diamond Select Toys gallery diorama PVC statue featuring Snake Eyes and Timber leaping from a snowy ledge. The piece was stunning with lots of awesome details and incredible sculpt work. Well, fast forward about 10 months later, and BBTS have revealed a brand new variant cartoon deco version with Snake Eyes in his dark purple deco and Timber rocking the darker grey and a more stark underbelly white in an attempt to mimic the animated series colours, and now they're leaping from a grassy ledge instead. The roughly 10-inch PVC statue will cost you $49.99 and will begin shipping in August of 2022. Expertly sculpted by Jorge Santos Souza, this striking and dynamic piece will also come packaged in a full colour window box. If you're interested, check out the link in the description below.
Yes, that is the Diamond Select Toys variant Snake Eyes and Timber, the cartoon deco kind of homage statue. This one is really cool, actually. Like, I'm not a statue guy at all. I've got like maybe 2 over the years. Like, I think I have that one that's like a wall-mounted one where Snake Eyes is hanging from the snake logo, basically from the snake, the castle snake head scenario. Love that. That was really cool. There's a little bit more to it, and there's a little bit kind of interesting and unique. So I was really into that. The other one I have, what's the other one I have? It's from back in the day. It's from one of the Palisades ones or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while. But yeah, I don't really have that many. And I'm not really a massive statue guy. But when I see statues done really well, I really like it. Now, obviously, this one is a redeco. It's the original statue. In fact, I've got the comparison right here next to each other. Obviously, the one on the left is slightly cheating because it's got this gorgeous background in it to give it even more like, you know, I don't know, context and everything. And then the other one's a bit stark white behind it. So the colors do kind of hit you in the face a little bit. But what I like about, well, what I like about the first one is the immense detail in the sculpt. Now, in the video prior to me talking about this, I did show a close up of that bit, like kind of Snake Eyes, kind of like head and torso, and all of the detail is just gorgeous. There's so much texture, so many different like panels and stuff like that. There's a lot more than you can really see from this distance. Timber's hair is really well done. His fur, sorry, is really well done. And I loved the snow ledge as well. I thought that was really cool, with a little kind of explosion of snow behind them as the bullet hits or something, which is really, which is really cool. And what I really liked about the actual statue was just how unique the pose was. It's really dynamic, but it's not like classically what you'd expect them kind of pose for Snake Eyes to be in. Like, he's actually quite, like, you know, upright in like one like line, if you know what I mean. There's not I say it is dynamic because there's a lot of dynamism in the body still. Like, the arms are all the way back, like getting the sword ready to strike, but one of the hands isn't fully on it. So do you know what I mean? So he's almost in the process of grabbing it with two hands, and he's kind of like leaping off that ledge in a way, but it's like his knees kind of, it's intricate and it's weird and it's different, and that's what I really liked about it. What I will say though about the redeco, looks really awesome. Obviously, the detail is still going to be there. Some of the paint apps though will take away, I think, some of the sculpt detail, and I think that's probably the case on Timber's fur, because it looks as though you're not getting that kind of like, you know, the original kind of has like a phase of like gray going into the kind of like off white, but with the kind of cartoon deco, they've given him that kind of thick dark gray, and then it is a harsh like step to the white. So you kind of and you're losing a little bit of the fur texture on there, I think, from what I can see on the images that they've shared. Even so, bloody gorgeous statue. I love the fact they've done this little kind of, you know, redeco variant, and it's a good idea too, like especially with how popular the cartoon is again, with the movie in theaters very soon, which will, again, as another story we'll be getting onto shortly. Just really, really, really cool. What are you guys saying then? Oh, well, I will come back to a couple of these comments where before we got into this particular story. Matt O'Brien has said, do you think Classified will do a Build-A-Figure wave or maybe a Build-A-Bivouac wave? I don't know. I don't know if the whole Build-A-Figure thing works in Marvel for some reason. I guess like some of the characters, you know, you got a lot of huge characters, you know, a lot of different size things going on here, but there's a whole load of characters in Marvel that are probably too big to do as your one-off figures, like in a wave. So they came up with the idea to bust them down and have different parts in a wave, and that makes you buy the whole wave because you want to complete that figure. That it all makes sense, and it's a really good ploy, but also like it's just a good way of getting those figures all together, I guess, and then getting that bonus Build-A-Figure figure. So it kind of pleases everyone as much as it can. There are still people that pick and choose. I used to pick and choose with Marvel Legends, and still kind of do to a degree. But with Classified, I don't think there are that many options for Build-A-Figure. And like when you're talking about build a bivouac or build a mini set kind of thing, I just think they'll release, if they do that kind of thing, I just think they'll release it in full. I just think boom, there you go. There's not enough, like they don't do enough figures in the wave for it to be able to build anything. So they'd have to do, like, it would take you, well, look how long it's taken us to get 7 figures. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if we had to get all of the Build-A-Figure parts in those 7 figures. Like, you'd have had, let's say, Storm Shadow. Well, we'll take the exclusive out of the way. Let's talk about just the standard line. if they did 3 figures and 3 figures still, you'd be waiting half a year to build that figure. So like, I don't think that they will, based on the amounts of figures you'd need to build whatever it would be to build. So yeah, I just don't think it works as comfortably. I don't think it's a, like I said, there's a real, it makes sense for Marvel, the amount of characters involved. And yeah, there are a lot of characters in G.I. Joe, but they're all human size. And not all of them, there are some, but I don't think there's enough to necessitate a builder figure wave. I think because there aren't that many big kind of characters in size situations, I think you can just release them as deluxe figures at some point down the line. And also Classified as its own sort of universe. And yes, we've seen Dr. Mindbender with Serpentor and the DNA and all that kind of stuff on the back of the card. So that is definitely within the parameters of Classified now. But I don't necessarily think we're going to see loads of quirky, weird stuff in Classified. I think that is specifically going to be Super 7's remit, personally. And I think with Classified, we're going to get, there are going to be things they probably don't necessarily cover. But anyway, that's my thought wave on that map. Back to Snake Eyes. Actually, back to this comment here from Felipe. Finished my target run during my vacation on Florida. Some weird stocking. One store had a dozen blue Snake Eyes. Grabbed everything I wanted. Flint, Lady J, Storm Shadow Snake Eyes version 2, by the way. Barely any Classified here. It is, I mean, it's all over the place, Philippe. It's not just where you are. It is everywhere. Trust me. David says, coming back to statues. Thank you, David. On mission. Wasn't there 2 different Destros? I think Diamond is doing this with all of their statues. Yeah, absolutely. We had a, what's it called? We had a Prophet Director Destro, and we had a standard Destro in the gallery diorama fashion. And he's in that kind of like sewer kind of scenarios, in like sploshing through the water with like a little kind of sewer wall in behind him, holding a briefcase and firing his wrist rockets. It's an amazing statue as well. I really love that one as well. I think that's awesome. And they've repainted it to do that one. So yeah, they're definitely doing multiple decos for their statues. It's what every company will do now, because it's a tried and tested way of getting the most out of the tooling, the cast in this case. Excuse me. Payne says, that statue is great looking diorama. Love the timber, just don't have the space. Yeah, it's same with me, my man. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons I'm not a statue guy, is just really space. If I had the space, I'd have every statue G.I. Joe ever released, and it would be a pretty impressive sight, because they've done a lot of statues and busts and things like that. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Adam Drake, hello Adam. I'm not a statue collector, but I'd love to see this deco in Classified. Yeah, the purple kind of, the kind of animated black. Definitely. I think it would be really cool for them to do. It would have been pretty cool to do with the timber, wouldn't it? I think the idea, from what I could gather, was that it gives people that struggle to get the deluxe one like sort of a version of it, but I still say they could have done a different deco on that Snake Eyes, and I think it would have just made it way more appealing from a kind of completist standpoint. Hello Stephen, hello Renegade, Renegade Biker 24, hello. Yes, David, Diamond are doing lots of cool G.I. Joe merch. They've got mini mates, the statues. There's something else they've got that has just flown out of my brain. But yeah, they did that gorgeous, their busts as well, haven't they? That Storm Shadow one, which, wow, Storm Shadow and Destro. God, they were amazing. So again, they're like kind of just the busts of the head and the shoulders, knees and toes. But the the Destro one's really cool, because it's got that kind of like really cool, like follows the collar, doesn't it? Basically, it's really awesome. And then it's on that stand, which is like his wrist gauntlet. So dope. Yeah, they've done some amazing statues and merchandise. They're really doing good stuff, Diamond Select, at the moment. For over a year now, they've been churning those things out. Right, Renegade, let's talk about this. I like the statue of the one with the snow-capped rocks, but they both look great, and it would look good in the Sideshow Master lighted revolving house. Absolutely. But I want to talk about that quickly. You just made me realize something. Now, love both the statues. I think they're fantastic. I love the deco homage. But on the first one, the snow-capped kind of ledge works perfectly. There's a bit of ice hanging off the kind of tree or the branch that's kind of, you know, sticking out the ground kind of thing, and that looks really cool. And they've obviously taken that off for the other version, but I don't, because they haven't changed it. It looks, rather than grass, it looks like green slime. So I think that, you know, it kind of looks like moss in a way, doesn't it, or kind of something like a wet kind of gross kind of like growth rather than actual kind of like a grassy ledge, which is probably something they were probably aiming to try and do both. But I feel like it 100% works for the snowy ledge and doesn't quite work for the grassy ledge. That's just my opinion. Like I said, if I had the space and the means, I would probably have both of these anyway. Oh, and let's not forget, in terms of statues, my goodness, yeah, in terms of statues, let's not forget Prime One Studio. My bloomin' goodness. Now there's some statues. My word. Yeah, absolutely outstanding stuff. Anyway, anywho, what else are we saying in the comments? Jose Vasquez just says no, and I don't know why. No to everything I just said up to this point, Jose. Let me know, or don't, or just write no. Lenny seemed against doing Build-A-Figure when he talked about it in the stream last year. Yeah, and it has come up since, hasn't it? Like in a few different kind of interviews. And it's always kind of a little bit like, yeah, it doesn't quite work. And I get it. I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. I know Carson had that idea to do like a Build-A-Figure snake armor. Just release the snake armor. Do you know what I mean? With the figure, like that would be so much more interesting, I think, than like I said, like a 6-figure wave where you have to get the Build-A-Figure. And I don't think they're going to do that with Classified. I think the wave structure is kind of as it is based on the budget they have to work with. So unless that changes, which it could do, but unless that changes, I think we're just going to get 3-figure waves for Classified. And because of that, I don't think BAF is relevant for it. Clothesline Media says Vegas odds are 3+ additional Snake Eyes releases by end of year. Does anyone else roll eyes at the excessive fan service, or am I just misunderstanding the business of middle-aged toy collecting? Well, God, if you followed how I react to this stuff, Clothesline, you'd probably be like thinking, oh, that's you know, that's why, because he's the fan that they're servicing. I kind of feel like there's a balance, isn't there? I think there's a balance personally, and I think sometimes companies will overstep that balance, and it could be for multiple reasons. I think the main reasons that the balance is off at the moment is not because of them necessarily. It's because of the other factors like the shipping delays and the manufacturing issues and China's lockdown and all that kind of stuff. All these kind of things. The switch to packaging, you know, switching to non-plastic packaging. There's lots of other factors that are probably taking hold in like what we're getting in terms of reveals, in terms of character choices, in terms of homage and fan, you know, what you call it, like fan service. So I think a lot of factors come into it to offset the balance sometimes, and I feel like they all go into this with the best intentions, and like the schedule is like one way, and then things happen, and then it just changes things, and that's how I view it, from like the information I receive, from the information I'm aware of. And just from a little bit of reading between the lines and some other aspects as well, that's how I kind of gauge why they do what they do. Like I do understand why they went with the Snake Eyes they did, with the Snake Eyes and Timber for Classified. mainly because of the budget. And it was a way to redo the, like, you know, timber again, like get that tooling out, but in white. Great idea. Put the version 2 classified snake eyes, even though it's the version 1 classified snake, the version deluxe classified snake eyes in there instead of the Alpha Commandos one, to mix it up a bit. And, you know, they feel that would be enough and covers a few different, you know, ticks a few boxes basically, without breaking the bank, shall we say. Excuse me. So yeah, I think that probably goes into it. And the thing is as well, if it's not a successful figure pack, if it's one of those things where you see it in paint and you go, actually, I really like that, or there's something else they haven't shown for that particular set that kind of pushes it over the edge for people. Because that's another thing. Excuse me. We don't know if there's something else with that set. We don't know if there's like new accessories, or if there's like something that maybe Snake Eyes can wear as a secondary or something. And I actually don't know. Like, again, I talk about this sometimes, like some things I am aware of and I'm not allowed to say. In this case, and I will be honest with you, I don't know what's coming with Snake Eyes and Timber. All I know is they'll have other accessories. I don't know what those accessories are, but that's the thing that, like I said, that's the thing that could tip it for people. So, but the thing is, my point was, before I sidetracked myself, if it's not a successful figure, then guess what? It won't sell, and you know, Hasbro will see that, and they'll change tack a little bit when they do that kind of thing again in the future. That's what I would assume. Because I think even though like you feel like certain lessons are learned in other brands and over the years, we're still kind of newish. And especially in classified, I still feel like they're still working a lot of things out. And it hasn't helped that the world has imploded on itself. But anyway, yes, Clothesline Media, that's what I would say to that comment. Sorry, I'm a bit behind now. Sorry. Adam, in regards to the pose, I have a bit of a nitpick with how far down the sword tip is dropped. Japanese sword training is about efficiency, and it would require a long swing to get the blade to hit a target. Very good point. Absolutely. And this is something that Larry's talked about in the past when he's kind of had issues with how some of the artists have drawn his work, you know, his writing, but then also like how they've maybe taken artistic license with some of his, because he does a lot of kind of panel sketches, doesn't he, and stuff to kind of show like almost like a storyboard sometimes for what he wants. You know, he does a lot of work in that sense to give artists a good idea of what he wants. But he has talked about that in the past, about how, you know, and also, but let's face it, Adam, you're talking about real life mixed with this fictional universe. And, you know, Snake Eyes, you know, he could be, it's just, you know, sometimes you're caught in a pose, or you're caught in a scenario where you might be in that, your arms might be that far back. It could have been the explosion behind him. It could have, you know, that could be adding to the, I know I'm just kind of like, you know, filling in any kind of other gaps. And it could be something the sculptor took into consideration. It could have been something that the sculptor may have said, like, they may have thought, I'm going to make it look like he's leaping. The explosion behind them is giving off a little bit of a pulse, and that's kind of arching his back even more, pushing his arms back, taking his hand off the handle. Maybe, who knows what story is behind it? It's kind of, I suppose, down to the people then that purchase it and what story they want to give it. Based on what they're seeing visually. But the totally valid point, Adam, and I totally see what you're saying, 100%. I do tend to have to like separate reality with G.I. Joe sometimes, though. They're not one and the same. Yes, Ritz, that, yeah. I mean, I called it purple, but it is, yeah, it is a gorgeous like color, and it does work. I mean, that's why they use it in the animation, isn't it? To really make all the other details kind of like stand out, like the visor, the bandolier with the grenades, all the different kind of straps and belts and stuff. So it really does bring the figure to the character to life. Definitely. If it was all just straight black, sometimes it can be, yeah. Back then, it was definitely kind of frowned upon to do that in animation. Super Science says, Bath for classified. Oh, God. No, maybe diorama pieces, but not figures. And that I'd love to see. Okay, that's something I'd love to see, like a diorama piece that comes with each figure that then connects together to make one big diorama. Now that would be amazing. That would be super, super cool. They've done it to a small degree with Black Series, haven't they? Those ones where it's like they've got that kind of dio piece, but it's like one figure comes with it. So yeah. If they do classified BAF, those pieces will get stolen and we'll never have complete figures. Well, maybe. I mean, stuff gets stolen anyway, doesn't it? Like, and with non-plastic packaging, and you know, and let's face it, a lot. Who's going to be buying this from shops? I haven't seen any in shops. I haven't bought any from shops in so long. Just get them online. Okay, Renegade Biker says the only thing I'm concerned about when it comes to Diamond Select Toys is the way they did the Battlestar Galactica Cylon Warrior figure review that I did on my channel. The way that the Battlestar Galactica Cylon Warrior, what was it specifically about that then that was not to your liking? Let us know. Matthew says build a Serpentor. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? Give every character in that wave a DNA collection device. And then that would be brilliant. And then you build Serpentor. That's great. It's a good idea because it makes sense. And then make it a VHS packaging wave, a Rise Serpentor, a Rise wave. And then, yeah, sorted. Jeffrey says, I would love to get more unique characters instead of Snake Eyes, but I get why Hasbro releases them so often. He always sells and they can just repaint an existing tool. I mean, yeah, I mean, they repaint everything existing, but some get it more than others. I'm looking at you, Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes and Roadblock. Small die pieces again, says Jeremy. Build a botched Serpentor clone. You mean that giant like plasma monster? That would be amazing. In fact, there's one that the plasma kind of botched Serpentor clone would be one of those bigger figures, wouldn't it? So would Ramar from the, I remembered his name this time, from the Master Vice miniseries. So like you'd have, but then again, they're probably too old. They're probably too Super 7 for me. Fatal Fluffies. That's all Super 7. Classified aren't doing those figures. Like I just don't think that's going to happen. Because I don't know. Maybe if we get to that point where we get like a Cobra La wave or something, and then it starts to change a little bit, and they're like, right, you guys really love this wave, so we're going to keep doing quirky, weird stuff in the classified. You know, maybe call it classified animation or classified, 1987 or whatever we talked about last time. That it could be something they end up doing eventually. But with Super 7 on board and doing those figures, I don't know. I just don't know. We'll see, I guess. Jose says, I don't think Hasbro would produce classified playsets. Oh, that's what you were knowing about. Okay, thank you, Jose. Thank you very much. And knowing, N-O-I-N-G, is the other half of the battle. So you know about it, but then you just say no to it. No, I don't think they will either. I'd love to see it, but I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. Not yet, anyway. Not in the near future. David says, not a statue guy either. When they fall off the shelf, it's finished. Well, that's why you have to really secure your shelves, or don't live in a earthquake, in an earthquake-rich environment like California or somewhere like that. Jay Lee says, if they did the other versions of Snake Eyes, would be okay. The blue suit and then the one with the blades on his chest. Yeah, the version 3 and version 4. Version 3 with the trench knives, and version 4 is the blue suit. Yeah, I'd be up for... I really want to see those kind of homages now. I want to start seeing Snake Eyes in different forms, because if I feel like we've had our fill of the molds. Well, we've definitely had the fill of the version 1 classified, haven't we? I feel like AKA version 2, but we haven't really had the Alpha Commandos one much. So maybe if we got like another Snake Eyes Alpha Commandos, and then going forward, let's freshen that up now. Let's get some new Snake Eyes stuff going on. X Factor 17, the original color statue is the first statue I've ever ordered. Looking forward to it. Brilliant. I'm excited. You have to let us know what it's like. Yeah, take some pictures and send them to us as well. I want to see what it's like. Man, I've been going a long time and I've got loads more to cover. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on then, guys, because I'm not going to get to everyone's comments and this is getting ridiculous. Let's move on to the next. Actually, I do have one more thing to talk about with this, and that's all the information here. So estimated shipping is August 2022, $49.99. You can check in the links in the description. If you're into this one and you want to get it, all the information is in the description below. Yeah, enjoy. Let's move on then, I guess, to the next segment, which is in movie news.
The hits just kept on coming towards the end of the week, didn't they? Yes, Fathom Events finally dropped official details regarding G.I. Joe the movie, making its way to theatres in June. The US-only event will see the beloved by me animated movie hitting cinema screens all over the United States on Thursday, June the 23rd at 7 p.m. and Saturday, June 25th at 1 p.m. You can get tickets by following the link in the description below and to see if any of your local theatres will be playing it. I will be going to both screenings because this doesn't happen very often and I'm going to make the bloody most of it. Now grab my ankles.
I'm so funny. That was a joke, but that was sarcasm. Right. Fathom Events, official details, guys. This is it. We're in. Get your tickets Thursday, the 23rd and Saturday, the 25th. On Thursday, it's at 7 p.m. and on Saturday, it's at 1 p.m. See if it's nearby. Go in the link below. Do it. Get it. Watch it. I mean, I feel like this is what I'm getting at. If we go and watch this movie in our droves, we try and like. I know we're not gonna like pack out the theaters or anything, but it gives an opportunity then to see the popularity of the brand. Also, like animated movie, maybe a bit more kind of like media will come out of that. Maybe even a little bit more like product will come out of that, like Super 7 and Classified and so on and so forth. If it's popular and it does really well, it happens again. It happened with Transformers. Like I said, I went to that first Transformers one and we were like the only people in there, but they had more show times, they had more days that it was on, I believe, or it might have just been on 1 or 2 days. Anyway, we like I said, went to see it. But it happened again, like a few years, like either the next year or I can't remember the time difference between the two, but it definitely happened twice. This could happen again. And not just that, but maybe then it could get out to theaters in other locations. And I'm thinking for our brethren and our everyone in Canada, in the UK, in Europe and everywhere else, South America and everywhere, globally, Australia, everywhere, guys. I'd love it to be one of those things that people can experience, not just in the United States of America, but everywhere else. If we can make it really popular, it'll drive that. It'll push it out there, I think. And I think Fathom Events might then try and extend it a little bit. So that's my thought process on this. Really want to see this again, but in a theater situation. Right, I'm just going to come to a couple of comments while I'm on this. Well, I'm still catching up, sorry. Hi, Chris. Love the show. First time catching it live. Do you think Hasbro might do all the figures with animals like Widescope and Lamont for Classified? Thanks for everything. So glad you're bringing us all this stuff in a fun and positive way. Thank you, Danny. Really appreciate that, mate. So to answer the question, in my opinion, do I think they're going to do all of them? I think if the line continues on, I definitely know there's another year at least, minimum. So, we're going to go into 2023 with products all year. If it continues into 2024 and 2025 and 2026, which I do feel like it has the legs to do so, then I would imagine they would get to pretty much all of them. And I don't think Widescope and Lamont would be soon, but because I think like you probably have, Raptor, you have and Talon. You have Spearhead and Max, Law and Order, Mutt and Junkyard, Hydra Viper and his Ray. There's a lot, isn't there? But you've got all those kind of characters who you probably probably have before, say, Widescope and Lamont. But you never know. They could do like a figure that is similar to Widescope, for example, that they could share some parts with. You know, like the kind of the body could be like, I don't know, Stalker's body, and then they have a secondary that goes over the top of it. They could do like a Shockwave figure, and that could be then, you know, rejigged a little bit to work with Widescope. You know, there could be a lot of things they end up doing, and then it could mean that, oh look, we've got an opportunity to do another animal companion set here. We've done a few of them. Let's do a wacky one. So it's possible, definitely, Danny, 100% possible. There's nothing, I don't think anything's off the table necessarily. They've said that themselves, even though I said before, like, some characters are probably not on the table based on Super 7's involvement. I don't think, unless they do something like I said before, like an animated thing where they delve into things like Ramar and the Plasma Serpentor mess, you know, like things like that, then I'm not sure, honestly, about that. But at the moment, I think it's very much, let's get some of the major characters done. Let's get some of the kind of iconic ones out the way. But then I think the kind of doors are open, definitely, for some like obscure characters in future years, definitely. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Danny. Sorry about that. Jeffrey Ball says, speaking of Snake Eyes, which we were before, anyone want to help me manifest that 0 Point edition Fortnite? I'm tired of waiting for that thing. I don't think it's ever coming. I think it was all an elaborate dream. It was a hoax. Water Soluble says, I want to get the Snake Eyes visor and timber repaint and maybe Blue Ninja if I can get it not on Amazon. Sergeant Slaughter will be a great addition to my collection. I can't wait, Water Soluble. Chris, the green moss on the rocks would be kind of more slippery than the snowcat one. I know that I've experienced that when I did a hike at the Lost Valley hiking trail. It was slippery. I also attest to that, Renegade Biker, as I have ended up on my behind many a time on like slipping on mossy logs, which is mossy logs is now my new rap name. And slipping on mossy logs is the name of the album. It is a bit slime pit, isn't it? Horde, zombie, Snake Eyes, and timber. Yeah, it is. Talking about the, sorry, this is what I'm talking about. I get behind on comments, and then it doesn't make sense what we're talking about now. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, well, let's move forward then. I'm not that far behind. Okay, I will get to everybody, I think. Will I? No, I won't. It just skipped on me. That's what happened. Neil Hill says, all right, let's talk repaints. No, Neil, you keep your mouth shut. I'm just kidding, mate. I'm just kidding. It's funny. Ritz Murphy is all in on the new Snake Eyes and Timber. I will never get tired of seeing new versions. Great. Keep them coming, Hasbro. Very positive, that, Ritz, and awesome. I'm glad you're happy. All I want with Snake Eyes is a jacked up blonde dude, alt head. You know, absolutely. Who did it best? Was it Mike? Who was the artist that it's really famous for capturing that one panel where he's got the scars on his face? I feel awful. I'm a terrible comic fan for forgetting the artist. Let me know in the comments, and then I'll shout it out and claim that I knew all along. What else we got going on? Right, let's get onto the movie comments. Sorry, guys, I'm moving on. All right, one more. Robert H. As much as people complaining about getting multiple Snake Eyes, the only Hasbro Snake Eyes this year is the Fortnite one, and the 2-pack won't be out till next year, 2 years after his last retail version. Very good point, Robert H. It's funny. It's because I think it's just because, like, for people, it's the perception, isn't it? It's a perception thing, because and I'm like definitely guilty of this. Pat and I were talking like last week, probably a couple of weeks ago, about it. But so much stuff comes out and is revealed, you forget what is like actually available, or what is released, and what is like actually coming, and what is like, what have we pre-ordered, and what is actually, you know, just a reveal from like a digital render. And then on top of that, I have the added bonus of having to remember specifically the stuff that I know is coming in the future that I can't talk about against what I already know is out. I haven't slipped up yet, but it's going to happen in it, and I've just jinxed it. Jinx? I'm just kidding. Jinx isn't. That's brilliant. That's on like 12 levels right there. That's like my Lenny Copperhead thing. Like he picks up a Copperhead figure in the interview, the Copperhead Python Patrol figure, and I'm like, yeah, that's a designer would only have that figure if he's referencing it. So definitely we're getting Copperhead in the Python Patrol. That's where my mind goes every single time. You think we'll ever see zombies in the classified series? Romeo, wherefore art thou? No, you think we'll ever see zombies in the classified series? I want to say, yeah, I think we would. And I think it would be pretty dope. Like a Compound Z homage. Definitely. Zombie Vipers. Maybe they could do like a whole like what if range. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it wouldn't have to necessarily be in the universe of classified, but it could be like a subset or something, couldn't it? And then then that's where you could get the Eco Warriors involved. And oh my God, it would be so good. So good. Cesspool in charge of like the Toxo zombies and the zombie vipers. Oh, come on. You're right, Phoebes. Sorry, she's letting everyone know. But yeah, good shout, actually. I would love to see zombies, and I was over the moon when zombies appeared in the modern era. Like, loved them. Okay, so I'm just going to speed through some of these because yeah, okay, right. I'm not going to get to everything. I apologize, guys. If you want your comment read out again, just comment again, the same thing if I've missed it, okay? And then I'll try and get to it again. But at the moment, we need to move, and that's my fault. Apologies. Rich says, really, thank you, movie related. Really not going to try to watch the movie at home this month so it feels fresh at the theatre. That's a good idea. Hard to do, though, for me, because I watched it yesterday. It's not going to be fresh for me at all. Matt O'Brien wants a classified 2-pack with Shockwave and Bullhorn. Awesome. You're welcome, Danny. No worries, mate. 3-pack of Cesspool and Toxo Vipers. Yes, definitely. Matthew's actually cancelled his Fortnite Snake Eyes. Just too many, and I've customized them to make sure I have the first 4 versions in classified form. That's pretty dope idea. Yeah, getting like version 4 and 3 and etc. and your Ninja Force. Norgahide would be a good one, Jason. Absolutely. MD Bright, thank you. Yes, it was MD Bright doing the Snake Eyes, that panel with the kind of scarred face. Thank you, Ed. And I did know, I just, you know how it is. Delete files, basically, in my head. Zombie Island, Romeo, wherefore art thou? Amazing. Great shout as well. Absolutely, Slave. The movie intro on the big screen is going to be incredible. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that, mate. It's just I'm trying to move it and keep it fresh so that I can move on to the next thing as well. I'm also going to change the screen so we can see the 30th anniversary image that they posted on Hasbro Pulse, which was amazing. 35 years. God, that makes me feel old. Take care, X Factor 17. You shouted full force. Take care. See you later. Enjoy the renovation of one of his rental homes. And sorry you're having to leave early, but see you on the next one. You watched it last week. No more starting now. Right, got it, Ritz. No more watching it starting at this point. Make it fresh in the theatre. Matt's off as well. Take care of yourself, buddy. Thank you very much. Jeremy, good shouts on these. I want to see Mercer Falcon and I Was Once a Man and Roadblock 2-pack. That would be pretty dope, actually, especially for like a movie kind of wave. Anyway, let's move on then and yes, Matthew, that intro is incredible. One of the best intros musically and visually that I've ever seen in any animated film. And that's a big claim from that era as well, especially. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. So everyone get your tickets, link in the description below. Get your tickets for G.I. Joe, the movie, in movie theaters, June 23rd and 25th. See if it's in your local area. If it's not, just go anyway. Go to the closest one you can. And I hope they are close, and I hope you don't have to go too far if you are going. But let's try and see both. Try and go to everyone. Try and try and pack them out, because I want this to be a really successful venture for Fathom Events. I really want them to see how big this is or could be. So let's do it. Okay, then. Up next, then, we have a bit of Canadian news.
Lots of classified talk coming out of Canada recently. In addition to getting most of the latest figures before the United States of nobody ever ships here anymore, they were also blessed with some GameStop pre-orders for Dr. Mindbender last week. A number of outlandish rumours began circulating that the figure was going to show up in stores on Friday, but alas, the official date was revealed to be July 1st, which is probably going to be the same for everyone else as well. Either way, can I get what Canada is having, please?
Yeah, lots of it. So yes, we got a Dr. Mindbender release date of July the 1st, and that's really thanks to GameStop Canada in essence, isn't it? So the rumors were that it was going to show up in stores yesterday, and that did not happen. I wasn't very surprised, honestly, and I didn't expect it to appear. If it was going to appear, I would have just immediately assumed it was an error, and it was just getting ahead of the actual street date, which have been really strict in the past, haven't they? I kind of half expected maybe to see one show up soon, but the fact we haven't seen any physical makes me believe that they haven't shipped yet, or they haven't got anywhere near anywhere yet. It is not far away, Ed. You're right. July is not far away. I'm very excited for him. The only high command character I had as a kid. He ruled my Cobra forces until 1991. Very cool. I like that little bit of information there. I'm trying to think who I had. I think my only Cobra commander for ages was the battle armor one. I didn't have any of the original Cobra commanders because it was the Palatoy one was I missed out on, and then when it came into 87, I believe that commander was a mail away or Cobra commander. Well, there was a hooded mail away one, which I never had. And I didn't have the chrome. No, I didn't have Cobra commander. So I had the one I got was battle armor Cobra commander, was my first Cobra commander, and then obviously Serpentor. So they were kind of like my main CCs, or my main Cobra high command. But yeah, interesting. I never really thought about that before. That's interesting. Oh, Renegade Biker, your Cylon Warrior figure review that you did on your channel had the arms fall off, and there's one of the legs that fell off as well that Toypoloy fixed on his channel. Well, hopefully it is the Snake Eye statue is nothing like that, which I don't think it will be. I don't think there's anything to remove. So yeah, I think it will be okay, personally. Oh, cool. David Allen says, movie event at Joe Fest in June during the Fathom event. Awesome. So hang on. When is Joe Fest? Because I didn't think is it on that weekend? Because that's great if it is, if you guys can go and see it as a big group. That's awesome. Enjoy that, guys. That's amazing. Ed says, July's... Oh, sorry. I've already done that one. What is wrong with me? I'm drunk. Go home, McLeod. You're drunk. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Jeremy says, definitely tie to Yojo June for Mindbender if July 1st. Yeah, 100%. I imagine Yojo June is where we'll get all the official reveals of the figure and the packaging and the dios and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be July 1st will be the date for everybody. Just makes sense, lines up nicely. Adam Drake, I just hope that my reservation is still valid for the correct release date. Fingers crossed. I'm sure it will be. Do GameStop cancel that many orders? I haven't really heard of that happening too much. I hear from Target and Walmart all the time. Just from some of you guys actually tell me Target cancels stuff constantly. Sammy says, wow, that's awesome. They're showing up more. We got the Spirit Storm Shadow Cobra Officer Wave here in Hong Kong this past week, but no Croc news here yet. Well, interesting you should say that, Sammy, because In Demand Toys also got their HK delivery as well, and they're on their way to me. So just to rub it into everyone else, I'm getting Spirit, Storm Shadow, Cobra Officer. I'm also getting Python Viper and Python Bat in the same delivery that should be here next week. And I am absolutely buzzing to get those figures. Still no Outback and still no Crocmaster, but Crocmaster, I believe, is coming into In-Demand Toys next week, I believe. So, you know, I expect Crocmaster to start trickling out everywhere as well, Sammy. You know, especially in HK as well. Dr. Mindbender looks awesome. Will we get a regular classified release? Well, yeah. Will they do some sort of like Python version? Do you know what I mean? Like I could see them doing like a Python Patrol Commander Mindbender or something. You know, that'd be really dope. Actually, I'd be really into that. Like he could have the pattern on his purple pants. He could have fancy like crazy. Hang on, what are the other like yellow boots or something? And then he could have that gorgeous like snake skin cape. Oh man, that would be sick. Blood. I'd be well into that. I would be well into that. I don't know if he'll get like a well. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think how that would be done, like a standard Mindbender, and would there be much point to it? Do you know what I mean? I suppose there would be. Like if this sells out, then yeah, absolutely there would be a point to it. But they would have to change some of the deco. They'd have to change something. He wouldn't come with all of the same accessories. They'd have to cut those down, and he would be in, you know, like a standard box, I guess. But I definitely think a Python Mindbender would be mind blowing. I would love that. I'd bloody love that. If we're going to get a repaint of him, and I know he's never been in Python Patrol, but like I just think that would be sick. Like you could just again, the stuff you could do with his pants. The stuff you could do with his pants. I never thought I'd say that in my life. But yes, Romeo, I love that shout, mate. And like I said, I'm not sure how. Obviously, if this sells out ridiculously, then it makes sense to do so, doesn't it? 100%. Even just a standard, quick and dirty release, yeah. Jose Vasquez says, I believe the dates are all rumors. I don't think Dr. Mindbender will be released this year. I can tell you he will be released this year, Jose. He will definitely. So don't worry too much on that. The date might be a rumor, but it's not necessarily a rumor. It's a date that has been given by GameStop themselves. Like it's an internal street date for them. So it might not be the 1st of July. You're totally right, but it's definitely this year. Trust me. Renegade says, Chris, I'm a little bit hesitant about Diamond Select Toys, but hopefully the statue will not have any of the problems. To me, the Battlestar Galactica Asylum Warrior figure problems were consistent. Yeah, but like I said, it's a statue, so I wouldn't worry too much. And yeah, fingers crossed it's okay. Fingers crossed it's okay. Getting my Storm Shadow. Oh, brilliant. Pain, getting my Storm Shadow Spirit and Officer today. So excited. Oh, I'm so jealous. Even though I know mine are coming. That's awesome, mate. Really happy for you. Really happy for everybody that are getting their figures finally. This is what we do it for, isn't it? This is what we do it for. Python Patrol Mindbender, they could paint a shirt on him, you know? Yeah, I guess. I mean, like very form-fitting, tight as hell. It's like Billy Arbox shirt from from the modern era figure, showing his six-pack. Mindbender in a lab coat, says Payne's Toy Samples. Yeah, good point. Good point. Just change the secondary. Just throw a lab coat on him. Winter coat could work as well, couldn't it? You know, like the purple winter coat from the animation, because you keep the whole figure the same. Oh no, the arms would be different, wouldn't they? So other than the arms, you keep the whole figure the same, and you just throw a white lab coat secondary that, you know, are fixed. It doesn't have to be one that comes off. And then the arms, give them new arms. And that's kind of like a good way to get reuse out of most of the figure, I guess. Kind of. I still think, now all I can think about is a Python Patrol Mindbender, and I want that to happen. Like a Python Patrol logo tattoo on his chest, going one further than Outback. He loves to go one further than the Joes. Sammy, yeah, he probably would just come with like that one the two weapons he's holding are the kind of like injection device, injection pistol. What do they call that? There's a word for it that I forgot last time as well. It's like a delivery system or something, like a toxin delivery system or something. I don't know. It's cool though. That, and then that kind of like weird Frankenstein's monster electricity girder he's holding in his other hand. But yeah, I think he probably would come with way fewer accessories. Definitely. Jeremy says standard could have an alt head similar to V2 and a soft goods lab coat. Yep, absolutely. You're still talking about some significant changes, but like I think if you're just changing the arms out and then throwing a lab coat secondary on it, I think you're done and dusted, covered in mustard. What? What else we got? Tyler. Hello, Tyler. With Sergeant Slaughter revealed and Mindbender set for July 1st, could Yojo June see a Serpentor reveal completing the trifecta? I'd love it if they did. Oh, that'd be so good. Serpentor and his air chariot. Hell yeah. Let's get that trending. I'd love to see that in the classified series. It's possible. I mean, like you look at the back of it's on screen at the moment, but the Mindbender card art, box art, it's got Serpentor dripping all over it. So if that isn't a big enough hint for everyone, then I don't know what is. So yeah, I would suggest that it would be a good bet, wouldn't it, Tyler? That would be where the money would be, I think, for Yojo June. Oh yes, good shout. I hope Renegade Biker 24 says, I hope that the new one of Dr. Mindbender will have the Cobra logo on the back of the cape. I imagine it does. Do you know what? I don't know if it does or not, but that's something that I think I mentioned ages ago when we first started talking about this reveal within the Full Force group, but didn't actually say anything on the weekly or anything like that. But yeah, I think the logo on the back of the cape, I would be very surprised if it's not on there, Renegade Biker. Very surprised. Really good shout though, absolutely. Payne says it just guns out lab coat, so it could just be a lab coat secondary but sleeveless. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Just hilarious. I think the winter coat would be a good one to do as well, especially with the 35th anniversary. Because again, you're just changing the arms, and the winter coat and the arms could then be reused for the lab coat, unless the arms have fluffy cuffs on them. But the cuffs could be secondaries. What am I talking about? Who knows how they're going to do it or what they're going to do? But I do think we'll see Mindbender again, like as he is, but maybe like slightly redecoed or violently redecoed and retooled. Violently. Donald wants Shipwreck for Yojo June. Fingers crossed. He can't be too far away, Shipwreck, can he? I mean, he's got to be somewhere. We haven't heard much. We haven't heard anything about Shipwreck, though. Don't forget. That's another thing. Like, we know that Falcon's coming. We know that there's a couple of other code words out there that we're not quite sure about. He says, nod, nod, wink, wink. When as a larger fandom don't know about around the corner as well. So any one of those could be Shipwreck, I guess. But you never know. We'll see. I guess I'm surprised it's taken this long to get the Super 7 Shipwreck in reaction. It's taken what, like how many waves? We wave 4, wave 5, not counting Troop Builder waves. So yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? That we've been waiting for some sort of Shipwreck stuff. I'm kind of fingers crossed that the next Ultimates wave for Super 7 is going to have Shipwreck in it, because I think that it kind of needs to happen. Bless you. Okay, Zombie Mindbender repaint, since he did die at one point. That's a good shout, Jeremy. That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? That could definitely be a good way to kind of reuse the tooling a little bit. Romeo says, will there be any other female figures, CoverGirl or Jinx? I very much imagine so. CoverGirl is a very good shout, and possibly one of the biggest female characters we haven't seen yet. One of, I said. Obviously, we've seen Baroness, we've seen Scarlet, we've seen Lady J. So I think CoverGirl is a pretty big it's got to be coming soon, hasn't it? So I can imagine CoverGirl will be coming soon. Jinx is another good one and would line up beautifully with the 35th anniversary year for the movie. So, but we'll see, I guess. We will have to wait and see. I would imagine so, Romeo, yes. Tranquilizer gun is a good shout, actually, David, for what that thing is. You're probably right. Like I'm just seeing it as like a delivery system for anything, not just tranquilizers, but like, you know, serums and compound Z and horrible things that Mindbender's cooked up. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person that wants to tranquilize people. He wants them to be awake when he does horrible things to them. That's the kind of person Dr. Mindbender is. Payne, no, we don't. The one with Pet was Ariel, as you're talking about. That's Snake Eyes and Timber. That's the repaint of Snake Eyes and Timber. That has been revealed. So that is one that we know is done, and we know that's Snake Eyes and Timber. The reason we know about it is because of actual listing information, and the numbers they give those particular figures is the same as the Ariel listing. Snake Eyes and Timber is Ariel. I hope that answers your question. It's not really a question, but hope that clears that up for you. If Shipwreck comes out with Yojo June, it will be epic for me since I looked like Shipwreck version 1 when I was in the US Navy. That's awesome, Renegade Biker. That's really awesome. Fingers crossed it happens then, definitely. Ritz, do you think Falcon is coming because of the movie anniversary? Maybe other movie figs in his wave? Well, think about it. So what have we had revealed recently? We've had Dr. Mindbender. There's a lot of Sarge, obviously. Falcon is one we know has been coming. It was a leak listing a while back. And then you've got this kind of the hint or rumor with the artwork on the back of the Mindbender artwork. The Serpentor could be involved as well. They all strike me as very 35th G.I. Joe the movie kind of releases. Do I think there are going to be more than that? Possibly, but also I'm not quite sure. Like, I don't know where, think about it. Even if they were to increase the amount of reveals they do for Yojo June, which I don't think is even likely. Like, I think it's, like they did that 40th anniversary special. That I could see that being almost like a very similar amount of reveals for Yojo June. I don't think they're going to do like 10, 20, 30 reveals, like just off, all of a sudden. I think it will stay within that remit. Remember, Yojo June, as we always get, totally ahead of ourselves in our expectations in Yojo June now, because that is like that's the thing that we do. We go like, oh, it's Yojo June, so it means 30 days of classified reveals. It doesn't mean that. It means we're getting like a nice big juicy event, like a live event, and lots of related fun content, licensees kind of jumping in and throwing out their releases in the month and pre-orders for all of the different companies that are connected, like Higher Toys. I imagine Higher Toys will probably reveal their 4-inch wave, their 4-inch figures at that point. There's Super 7 are going to have stuff to show off in that month on two fronts. It's going to be just like a busy week that we have for a weekly, but like spread out over the month. Don't think we're going to get like multiple live events. It's possible they might up the game a little bit for this year, but I just don't temper our expectations, guys. Expect one main event and then lots of, all the other stuff, all the other pre-orders. I'm going to be busy. Don't worry. I'll be busy. It'll be news bursts every hour, I guess. But we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Isn't it funny that I'm on my own today and have actually gone longer than we usually go? Pat will find that very hilarious, I think. Yes, Droz, Dr. Mindbender is definitely a dastardly dude, and that is one hell of an alliteration you've got going on there. Fantastic. Jaylee, I don't think it'll be difficult. I think people will be able to get hold of Mindbender, even if it's pre-order. It'll be one of those things where we're waiting for 7 years because of the shipping issues. But I don't think it'll be difficult getting hold of this figure. I really don't. They've already kind of dealt with the amounts, haven't they? They've already dealt with the kind of what they're producing in terms of amounts of figures. They dealt with that a while back, so it's not going to be a problem going forward. I really don't think so. If you're like there on the day, you'll be fine. Trust me. I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Evening, Sergeant Slaughterhouse. Hello. I was just watching, before I came on live, I was just watching your video with CALLSIGN Longbow and Steve of G.I. Joe Berg and Hooded Cobra Commander. So big shout out to everyone who appeared on that episode. I only got a few minutes in because obviously I had to do this, but I will watch the rest of that later. Looked like a good chat, lots of fun. Enjoy your episodes, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. And go check out Sergeant Slaughterhouse on YouTube, guys, if you haven't already. I'm sure if you're a fan of our channel, you're already well aware of what they're doing at Sergeant Slaughterhouse. So big shout out to everyone involved. And yeah, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it, guys. Jay Lee says, Falcon just has me hoping Nemesis Enforcer shows up. Serpentor will be nice, but only one hopes we get a Comic Colors one with a hidden slot for an arrow. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Or like an alternate head with just the arrow sticking out of it. That would be amazing. What else have we got? A few more comments and then we'll get to the shout outs. Renegade Biker says, if Dr. Mindbender comes out, I wonder if there will be a cattle prod and the generator as the accessories like version 1 had, or if it will be done later, or if it can be 3D printed. Well, we know what accessories he comes with. He comes with a very much like the cattle prod that you're describing, but it doesn't come with a big generator. It comes with a smaller like tube kind of attachment that looks to be able to lock into different points. So it might go on his back, it might go on his belt, it might just plug into something else. But it does look like, you know, they'll obviously go into more detail with the accessories definitely when they have the official reveal. But if you go back on our page, look through our photos, we posted all of the official product images a while ago, and you'll see all of the different things he comes with, and the open package that shows where those pieces are kind of located. He comes with a lot of stuff. If it was just Dr. Mindbender, like if you're talking about if it was Dr. Mindbender just on single car, like a standard classified, I would imagine he'd come with the cattle prod, the hose, the little attachment, and then that little, you know, that little kind of tranquilizer gun, we'll call it. But that's probably, I would imagine you wouldn't come with all like the tubes and the hand, the brains and all that kind of stuff. But who knows? You never know. Well, it would be a bit weird if they brought out one as standard and it came with all the same stuff the deluxe came with. It would be really weird and a bit defeating of the purpose. Droz says, for what we have already seen coming out this year, pretty decent so far. There is a wide range of folks getting involved with G.I. Joe as a whole. Absolutely. It is buzzing, the G.I. Joe brand, on the, you know, like the Hasbro side, all of their licensee sides, and then all of this kind of like supplemental kind of fan-driven stuff. It is a good time to be a G.I. Joe fan, and it has been for the last couple of years. It's been great. I have been in heaven with the amount of G.I. Joe chat we've been able to have, whether it's been constructive criticism about stuff or it's just been like freaking out and being excited and just really enjoying it. The whole range of this stuff, like I really enjoy doing these episodes. I really enjoy doing the weekly. I really enjoy doing like the Newsburst lives and all that stuff and all the other supplemental stuff that comes along with it. We do have another monthly coming, by the way. The problem is obviously it takes a while to get the availabilities lined up. And also like we kind of wanted to stick to current topics a lot of the time. And if there's not much really to kind of get stuck into, or if we've already covered it, then we'll do some like cute stuff as well. We might be, we'll see, but we're looking at a couple of different things to do this month, but we'll have that ready. But yeah, anyway, I love doing this stuff. So even if it's like just, you know, the brand being viable again, it's great to be able to chat about this stuff, especially with you guys too. So yeah, I would have to say the last couple of years, it's been wonderful for G.I. Joe fans. Water Soluble says, excellent picks for classified Joe troops and mains, although I've noticed a distinct lack of air and deep sea support. Speaking of deep sea 6 for the win, baby. Woo, got to be one soon. Water Soluble, 100% agree with you on that. It's all been ground support, hasn't it, mainly? I'd love to start seeing you know, Snow Joes and which is ground support, but Snow Joes and Sea Joes and Cobras and like all that kind of stuff. You know, I want to see like mission specific stuff. I want to see specialists. I want them to really get stuck into this now. And yeah, and I think we'll start seeing it as the line progresses. I mean, I keep looking over there. That's I'm looking at like 4 layers, 4 cubby holes packed in classified figures that have been released. It's awesome. I'm loving it, man. Loving it. Yeah, Jeremy, Pulse Premium is a good thing to have about snagging exclusives. It really is. I only have to go on there to get exclusive things, honestly. I've never had to, you know, but the thing is with Pulse, you do wait a little bit longer. But again, I'm cool with that. I'll wait. I'll take the time. I'll be here still. I'm not going anywhere that I know of. What else we got going on? They are producing a ton. The latest Target exclusives are still up for pre-order. There you go. Absolutely, Jeffrey. So there won't be issues getting these things ever anymore. Jinx repaint like blue and a Kiko mold is a no-brainer. Hasbro's definitely doing that. That's a good shout, actually, David. But I have a feeling they'll probably go a bit more vintage with Jinx. The fact that we got that blue kind of Akiko reuse, I feel like they're probably satisfied in their mold reuse of that particular you know, retool. So I would imagine they would go way more vintage with Jinx. Definitely, that's my opinion based on the current trend of how they're doing things at the moment. But it's a good shout, and I'd be up for another Akiko reuse because that figure is beautiful. I love it. The fave death scenes in comics, Jay. Serpentor with the arrow, yeah. I should have gone all the way to the eye, not just done that. One of them, definitely, it's a really good one, and it mimics the Battle of Hastings 1066, doesn't it? Google it, you'll know what I'm talking about if you're in the know. In fact, if you look at the Bayeux tapestry, that's I think where Larry got the idea from. In actual fact, the arrow to the eye. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just go Google it, or you already know what I'm talking about, and that's totally fine. There's me being an absolute like presumptuous, pretentious D-bag. Absorb vids, you're late. That's a demerit. You'll have to watch it from the beginning all over again. An hour and a half of this stuff, and there's going to be more to come. Oh, cool. Matthew says there is a DKR Joker figure with an alt head that has a batarang in his eye. So yeah, the opportunity's there for them. The opportunity's there, in it. If they don't take it, it's their fault. Classified banging, straight up popping home dog. Well, yeah, absolutely it is. Slaps, it does. Water soluble. Thanks, Mom. Am I still brilliant or? I've been loving the live streams. Oh, thank you, Matthew. I'm not always sure if you do enjoy them or if you watch them with a bit of hate in your eyes sometimes, Matt. Some of the comments that I would get from you, I'm always a little bit like, I wonder if I've upset him or if I've said the wrong thing. But no, that's great. I'm glad you're enjoying them, pal. Keep the comments coming. I really enjoy reading them out. What else we got going on here? Oh, even without Pat, Monster. Still brilliant, even without Pat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, Absorb Vids. The excitement around the brand is awesome. That's why we were all here. And that's what I feel like, yeah, it's like we're feeding off that energy, aren't we? I certainly am. Oh, that's a good shout, Jeffrey. That's something I should have really kind of added in some sort of way, shape, or form to the news. But when it comes to like pre-orders appearing, it's so to the point now where they just go almost immediately that it's almost like if I don't get it that instant or if I don't get the heads up on it, it's not really worth posting half the time. But yes, Heavy Artillery Roadblock went up again on Amazon. I'd imagine they ran a few more, or there was like, you know, a shipment that they found or that snuck through or whatever. I don't know the details, but it was great that they had a bit more to throw up there. if you did get one and you didn't get one previously and you got the opportunity to get one, brilliant. But I think they were pretty. They might have been sold out again. I'll have to double check that, but I think they were sold out when I checked last time. But yeah, keep an eye out for those too. Like they pop up every now and again, and you get like, if you follow Preternia on Twitter, they always get the heads up on those pre-orders. They're the ones to follow, definitely, if you want pre-orders and want to know about them everywhere. They're so fast with that stuff. Thanks for being so interactive with us. It's my favorite part of your streams. I love the interactivity part of it. It's one of the things that makes it kind of fun to do. I feel like when you don't watch it live, it can probably, you're not really getting the full experience, and it might not be as enjoyable to watch. So I totally understand that. So, I'm sorry if you're watching it after the fact and you don't get the opportunity to do this, because this is my favorite part as well. Water and snow, definitely, Droz. We need that. We need water, snow, air, all that stuff, all that good stuff. We need paratroopers. And I'm thinking like airborne, ripcord, the Sky Patrol, all that kind of stuff. Okay, Renegade Bikers off. Take care of yourself, bud, and good luck with everything. Hope we get Frostbite, Alpine, Shockwave, and Blowtorch. All good shouts. I'm surprised we didn't get Shockwave immediately after Beachhead, or at least a year after Beachhead, because I felt like Gung Ho's hat worked really well as like just a baseball cap kind of style for Shockwave. But I would love to see all of those figures. Frostbite, absolutely. Alpine, no, 100%. All of the accessories for Alpine would be top notch. You'd have to be like a deluxe figure, I think, first, just so you could get all of the cool stuff with him. Shockwave would be brilliant, and Blowtorch would be awesome too. Totally. Just thought of something. Vehicle drivers. Do you think we'll get any for classified? I think CoverGirl's a good shout. I think who else would I expect to see? CoverGirl would be a good shout, because I don't think they would. You could do her as a character, standalone character, really. You don't necessarily need the Wolverine. It would be great to come with the Wolverine, 100%. But like I said, I think CoverGirl would be a good one to do. I think Ace would happen, only because I think the Sky Striker is just not going to happen. So I think they would release Ace as like a 2-pack with Wild Weasel, because it would just make sense to do something like that, as opposed to bring them out with their vehicles. Sad to say, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It would be bonkers. It would have to be something really special, HasLabby again, and I don't think they're going to do another Sky Striker HasLab anytime soon. But yeah, definitely to some degree. Copperhead as well. Sorry, Copperhead as well. I think Copperhead's on deck, mainly because Lenny picked up Python Patrol Copperhead on his desk the other day. Oh, yes, Thomas. South American Joes would be cool, wouldn't they? And a definitely easy reuse of a few molds. I mean, you could argue Outback Tiger Force fits that mold to some degree, considering that deco and figure came out in South America as well. But I know what you're saying, and I think they could do a lot of cool, repaints based on that, definitely. Sorry, I just got to check something quickly. I knew there was another. We could have been looking at Mindbender. There you go. Let's look at Mindbender in full as we talk about this other stuff. J Lee, can't wait to see Snow Job, Blizzard, Snow Serpents, Wetsuit, Airtight, Wild Bill, Deep Six, Strato Vipers, Torpedo. I mean, these are all great shouts. Airtight, for me, is one they've got to do soon. We've had Barbecue. I need my Airtight to go alongside him for the Action Force Weekly cover, homage. Jeremy, I sit here filled with rage and hate. Kidding. And just to Matthew, I know, mate. It was a tongue-in-cheek comment, really. No hate. Just sometimes disagree about a few things, like nerds do. Totally understand. And it was really tongue-in-cheek comment, honestly. But yes, mate. Like I said, love your comments, and we'll always read them out when we get an interactive like this. Later, Renegade Biker, mate. Take care, buddy. There you go. Ed, I've got to visit Hastings on my honeymoon. I got to visit Hastings on my honeymoon back in 2011. Our friends were shocked I knew so much about the battle, but they were not shocked when I told them how. There you go. Was that the case then that you knew because of the Serpentor thing in the comic, and then you went to read up about it? Because for me, we learned about Battle of Hastings like day one in like infant school. Like it was so like prominent in our education for some reason. The Bayeux Tapestry, the Battle of Hastings, 1066. It's the one I always go. It's my it's my go-to battle when discussing old school war stuff. But yeah, really interesting to read up on, and also the arrow in the eye thing is what we're getting at. But that's awesome, man. That's really awesome. Oh, okay, this is cool. Jeffrey says this is for heavy artillery roadblock. It went in and out a few times. For Amazon stuff, there are also browser extensions you can use to track and notify when things come in stock. I use Keeper. That's a good shout. Really good shout. Thanks for the extra info and intel on that. That's brilliant. Some men just want to watch the world burn, blowtorch. They do. As a new fan, I find Snowjob very funny. I think I'll still find Snowjob very funny many years later. The name, innit? Yeah, it sounds like a move. Heavy metal is a good shout, actually, Romeo. Yeah, but I could see them doing a tank as a HasLab. I could see them doing like the Mauler. I know the Mobat's kind of like the Mobat to me is kind of like the iconic one, but the Mauler to me is way cooler. For me, I love that vehicle. Oh, David, that's cute. I feel so welcome, Chris. I feel we're all in your living room talking Joe. Amazing. Shout out to Talking Joe as well. I'm not sure if the Seddons are watching or if Tim Finn is, but shout out to the great work that Mark and Tim and Jay and everyone else involved does for that show. I used to be on it, but shout out to everyone, new and old. Love that podcast. Oh, Danny, very cool. Hopefully Clutch will be in there too. Thanks for so much, Chris. No worries, man. No worries. Clutch is a good shout as well, but I think the Vamp might be done. I get the feeling like the Vamp, the Hiss tank, I could see being done in classified. It would all be HasLab stuff, or one would be HasLab, and then the next one would be like just an expensive retail version. But like, I could see them doing those, and I could see Clutch, Hiss tank driver, yada 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 being done. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if we started getting Action Force repaints as store exclusives at this point. Robert H. No, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be happy as a P in S. Sorry, as a pig in S. I would be loving that. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see like kind of Eagle, SAS Eagle. I'd love to see like the Q Force. I'd love to see Space Force. I'd love to see or like Red Shadows. And obviously, like in terms of repaints, Red Jackal's easy, Red Laser's easy. Yeah, it would be so good. I'd be so into that. So into that. Get a Red Shadow. Imagine a Red Shadow at classified scale. I've got a classified scale Baron Ironblood, thanks to the wonderful and incredible complete. I can't believe I'm having a brain fart on this. Sorry, absolute brain fart. This is what happens on live shows, unfortunately. I'm searching my page for Baron Ironblood stuff because, yeah, there we go. Just Ian Customs. Sorry, Just Ian. It's been ages since I reposted something of yours or saw some of your stuff. So anyway, did an amazing job in, he did a Baron Ironblood custom modern 4-inch and as well. And they're just incredible, incredible figures. So massive shout out to you. And also this incredible, like Ben Conway from Skeletron sent me Wild Weasel classified scale figure custom. It's wonderful. So yeah, lots of good opportunities for that kind of stuff. Ripcord Love indeed, David Allen. Canary Ann repaint for Lady J is a good shout, Jeremy. We need G.I. Joe Infantry Trooper and Leatherneck, says Dorji. That's a good shout, actually. Leatherneck's a good shout. And an infantry like a grunt or a green shirt would be brilliant. Chuckles and Tunnel Rat, absolutely. says Romeo. Sorry, that I clicked off the comment quicker than I clicked on it. Yeah, Chuckles and Tunnel Rat, definitely, because then you got Tunnel Rat in Tiger Force and Night Force and Sonic Fighters and just so many. And Chuckles would be brilliant too. Ed, yeah, we may have glossed over it in early history classes, but no, my knowledge comes from Larry and the Joe comic. Brilliant. Brilliant. Hasbro Pulse UK has heavy artillery roadblocks still for sale. Get in there, my UK brethren. That's brilliant. Paul, hello, Paul. You want a classified Trouble Bubble? That would be awesome. I would love a classified Trouble Bubble, and I'd love it to come with Televiper. I just think that would be so dope. Oh, that's cool, Droz. Who was it that did the custom Ore Striker with working headlights? Because that sounds wicked. There's an Ore Striker in some sense of the word coming out for so many licenses, isn't there? The Flame Toys are doing one. It's a proper big old one. I'm not sure if it'll fit 6-inch figures, but it will certainly fit that Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow like 5 and a bit inch figures that they did, the kind of Snap 2 kits. But yeah, who did that, Jaws? Because that sounds awesome. Vamp would be awesome, Danny. Yes, it would. Skeletron is making those Red Shadows dreams come true in 6-inch scale. Absolutely, Ed. They certainly are. I'm talking more along the lines of the kind of classic design, if you know what I mean. But no, absolutely. Skeletron are doing some great things with Marauder in getting us 6-inch and 4-inch figures. Lots of them as well. What a mental campaign that was. And I'm very proud to have been involved in it the way I was as a consultant. Matthew, I'm going to get a couple of the Buzz Lightyear 5-inch spacecrafts from the new movie. They fit classified or 2 4-inch figures. Looks awesome. And repaints. That's a great shout. I love some of the stuff that was coming out for Buzz Lightyear. It looks so cool. Yeah, and the spaceships look great, don't they? Sci-fi and Hit and Run, absolutely, Romeo. We need again, massive characters. Both have had like recent-ish modern era figures. I agree. I definitely think Sci-Fi and Hit and Run would be beautiful figures in the classified. The XL-15 will dogfight the Robo Skull. Absolutely, Matthew. Buzz Lightyear versus Wild Weasel. Well, it was Wild Weasel in the second iteration of the Robo Skull in the UK, but he was also not called Wild Weasel. It was just a figure. But Blood Wolf or Red Wolf, yeah. I would love to see the class. Jack Knight, hello, Jack Knight 73. I would love to see the classified Cobra Claw with the figure like the Cyclone figure packs. Yes, I think because when I see the Cobra Claw, I see the movie intro where Cobra Commander uses it. I see Cobra Commander using it in the one of the mini-series intros. I see him on the cover of the comic using it. I see Chrome Helmet, Kitty said, Cobra Commander vintage on a Cobra Claw. That's how I see that. So I've got a feeling that we could see at some point in the future a Cobra Claw pack with a Cobra Commander more vintage style figure. That's what I think would happen with that, and I think that would be wicked. Alternatively, Cobra Claw with maybe like a trooper or an infantry or Cobra officer or something. But I think it would be so cool to have that with the Cobra, and a great way to bring that Cobra Commander classic kind of style back. You know, I think that'd be wicked. Jeremy says Snake Arm with a Cobra blue shirt would be awesome. It really would. It really would. I just see those definitely. You know, I would think that would be fantastic to do a Snake Armor, Trouble Bubble, Claw, to do them as vehicle pack-in figures things, because it's just so much more enjoyable that way. Droz, the guy who designed the custom Ore Striker, his YouTube channel is Toy Gigante. He has a video of it. Thank you very much, Droz. I will check that out. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Easy repaints, the Sith Viper 77, Action Force, Quarrel, and Ram. Absolutely. You could, well, that could be a pre-paint for a Scarlet vintage style figure, couldn't it? You could do new tooling for Scarlet, like the vintage, but then have a different head for Quarrel and a different deco. Get the Z-Force Ram in there, and then you've got Scarlet to release again, but in her more kind of classic design. I was thinking the same with Cobra Commander. Thank you, Jack. I'm glad you were. Great minds. Mike Hex says you can probably put the hand and brain in the jars. Absolutely, you can. Yeah, on talking about Dr. Mindbender, the hand goes in the long one and the brain goes in the small one. That is absolutely true. Yes, that's exactly what they're for. I know many may not want another Ram cycle, but I'd love to see one with the Quarrel. Absolutely. I think you're not the only one. You're not the only one at all. Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch Dreadnoks says Hooded Cobra Commander. Absolutely. Getting to the end now, guys. I would love to see some small accessories like the jump jet pack and diorama parts. Yes, absolutely, Droz. I'm 100% with you on that one too. Yeah, Buzz, sorry, I mean to rush over that comment, by the way, Hooded Cobra Commander. Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch. We've talked about it so many times on this channel. Love to see those three figures. Anyway, okay. That's it for one more from Romeo. It'll be cool to have the original 13 in the classified series, especially rock and roll. Absolutely, I agree. Now, sorry, I had to get to the end now of the comments. And we are going to have a quick word from me again. But that will lead us into shout outs. So take it away, me.
Hey there, guys. Just wanted to let you know about an app that I've been helping to develop for a few years now called HOARDAR. But what is HOARDAR, I hear you scream? Well, a number of years ago, I discussed a project with a good friend of mine and now co-owner/developer about an app that could help collectors of all shapes and sizes. I'm talking about the shapes and sizes of the collections really, but also people. The app would be a place where you could share your new items, build collections and sub-collections, or just browse the feed to see cool things. Well, we made it. We tested it for a number of years, and now it's out there for you to enjoy on iOS or Android devices. You can upload a single item at a time at your own pace and slowly build your collections. You can post status updates that could be related to your collections, like getting a delivery or posting a scene in which you can tag items in that image if you've uploaded them in the past. You can add tags to your items in order to easily search for and find them, and of course to add them into your respective collections. You can like posts, comment on them, or start a conversation with a fellow collector, directly message users you follow, and even add items you see on your feed to your want list. If you prefer to use your computer or laptop, have no fear, you can use the website browser version and even utilise the awesome inventory option, allowing any user to change certain details, add notes, upload bulk items from spreadsheet files, and download a CSV of your entire itemised collection. We made this app for collectors, and we hope that you enjoy using it as much as we enjoyed creating it. Now get to hoarding.
Get to hoarding indeed. I use that time period not only to shift into the shout outs, as you can see Bullhorn over there shouting through his megaphone, but also to just double check that I haven't missed any news. Because this is the thing now. It's like news is like thick and fast with G.I. Joe. It's non-stop. A couple of comments popped in before I get into all of the, the kind of shout outs. With CoverGirl and Jinx, the only remaining vintage female characters, I wonder where Hasbro will go after that. My hopes are Pythona and Helix. Yes, absolutely. I think there are a lot, actually. There are a lot more like the kind of came out in the modern era as well that you can throw in there, like Vipra, and there are more that I just can't think of at the moment. But there's, Dr. Biggles Jones with the Transformers crossover. Then you had... there's loads. Why can't I think of them? Obviously, Helix and Dawn Moreno. That's what I was trying to get to. Dawn Moreno and Pythona, Bomb Strike. There's a lot. There's a lot more than I always remember, and it's good that we're getting more of them. And I think that as well, like you say, it is interesting to see where Hasbro will go after CoverGirl and Jinx. But I think like you said, Pythona, Helix, Dawn. I think they're all very viable characters. Bomb Strike, like another one. Mayday is one we don't really talk about that much, but it's definitely another character. So yeah, I do think that there's definite like scope with more females in the line, and I think it will be interesting to see where Hasbro go after kind of some of the main ones are done. But I mean, we're even getting like new female characters in the Blue Ninja pack as well, which is really awesome. So that's fantastic. Yeah, really happy about that. Anyway, right, let's go into my shout outs. Oh no, there's a few more. Jeremy wants Grand Slam and the jump pack, please. I'll see what I can do. Bomb strike, yeah, exactly. Good shout. Diecast Nick, hello there. I'm jet washing the patio while listening. Well, yeah, hope you're doing a good job and you're not just like listening, watching the video every now and again and like taking out windows with it. I've done jet washing before. It's interesting, isn't it? Thanks, Diecast Nick. Thanks for the comment. And Jeremy says, Shipwreck's wife with bio goop. Yeah, we've discussed the synthoid thing and how you could do it like a bioflesh regenerator. You could like, like the Terminator 2 playset, and you could like create the characters with lots of different molds, and then just like over time they just like melt. But yeah, that would be so much fun. Anyway, shout outs and enough of the interactivity. We'll get to some of that later. Shout out to Pat, who couldn't obviously be with me on this episode and that has gone longer than any episode I've ever done, which is hilarious. But shout out to Pat. If you haven't seen that image, he'll be on next week. If you haven't seen this image before, this was from JoeCon with the Slaughters Marauders set that Pat and I had to do a review on immediately as soon as we got back to the hotel after picking the set up. So shout out to Pat for doing that with me at the time. And yeah, and shout out to Pat anyway, who's a great co-host. And like I said, he'll be back next week. Also, with Pat not here, I have to give a shout out to Phil Donnelly of Articulated Points. And also check out the latest Articulated Points that Pat did recently. You'll see their YouTube link in the description below. You can click on that and check out the latest video from them. He talked about Tonka mini toys, G.I. Joe, and it's an awesome video again. I love Articulated Points. They have so much information. It is brilliant. So yeah, check them out. And shout out to Phil as well. Shout out to my family in all over the world. Want to give a massive shout out, a special shout out to my Auntie Di. This today, it's her birthday, 21. Shout out to my Auntie Di. I love you very much. Have a great day. And if you do see this, great. If not, I'm sure Mom will tell you. So have a great day. Love you very much. And I need to organize getting out there soon because we need to see everybody and hang out. But also, last weekend, the in-laws flew out to see Kate and I, Kate's mum and dad, Valley and Kent. And Phoebe was very happy, as you can see in this picture. She was so excited to see them. She got lots of loves, lots of snuggles, and we had a great time. We went all over the place. We did lots of cool stuff, went on loads of walks, and some beautiful places in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. And we also went to I'm going to get the names wrong because I'm basically the author of Little Women, the wonderful house that they filmed there and everything, the original house that she lived in when writing the Little Women book and everything. It was really cool. And it was somewhere that obviously Kate wanted to go and see and Valley wanted to see as well. And it was just really cool day and awesome little kind of like, we did a little tour around the house. It was beautiful. It was really fun and had a great time. They've made it back safe. So massive love and shout outs to Kent and Valley for coming to see us. We had lots of good food as well. It was brilliant. Great time. That was why I had to rush off on the last weekly. That's why we did the shout outs in about 3 seconds. And I'm like, right, see you, bye. And then literally had to leave Pat on his own. That's why he didn't come on this week because he felt aggrieved. I'm just kidding, not really. But shout out to Kent and Valley. To shout out to Brian as well, Brian Sauer, codename Iowa and all that good stuff. But mainly for our incredible graphics, which again, I utilize on this very show. So thank you, Brian, for all the work you do for us, mate. Really appreciate it. Big shout out to G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Yes, funded quite dramatically, can we say. They ended up with a whopping $176,736 of a $5,000 goal. So yeah, 1,452 backers, incredible work from Renegade Game Studios, and really excited to get that game in hand when it's done. So big shout out to them. Love that. It looks awesome. Really cool little game mechanics as well. I'm really excited to play that one. There you go. Well done. Well done to Renegade Game Studios. Also, big shout out to CALLSIGN Longbow, live now on Kickstarter. Back it today, etc., etc. Link in the description, of course. They are absolutely killing it at the moment, already at 440 backers. 442 as it just changed in front of my eyes. $132,221 smashed through their 78,000 goal, and they're already into stretch goal territory. So massive shout out to the team. They're doing fantastic work, and the figures look great. Hopefully we'll get to chat with them next week. We were supposed to chat on the day of launch and do like a live, but unfortunately availability just collapsed hideously. So apologies to the guys at CALLSIGN Longbow. But like I said, we will have we will have them hopefully next week, and we can chat with them on there. Anyway, that is CALLSIGN Longbow, and big shout out to the guys there. Also, the G.I. Joe Fan Club Mobile Strike Task Force registration has been extended today for 3 more days. So registration will close on the 16th of May, 12 p.m. PST. So go and check that out in the link below. The website's down there. You can check out all the information on the G.I. Joe Fan Club Mobile Strike Task Force, what you get being a member and all that kind of good stuff. It is available internationally, and all the information is on there for international fan club members too. So 3 more days, registration extension. There you go. Enjoy. That brings me to the end of the weekly this week. What a bumper 2-hour special 80th episode. I make it like special because of the diagnostic 80 term. But no, I feel like it has been quite special. Shame, it's a real shame Pat couldn't have been here. Or anyone else. But it is what it is. I've had you guys, you've had me, we've had each other. Like as Theygon says, remember to like, share, and sub to get these bursts down range. Thank you, Theygon. Yes, I did know Longbow got funded. I just mentioned it. Yes, absolutely. Sorry that you just I'm late on the comments just as you're there's a delay. Apologies. Thank you, Ritz Murphy. Great 80th show. Well done and full force. Thank you so much. To a big shout out, obviously, to our patrons, listeners, viewers, all of you guys, all of the interactivity. Thank you so much for everything. This obviously won't be the last episode of the weekly. We're not stopping there. No, we'll be back next week. Pat, hopefully in tow, and we'll be going through some really cool stuff for next week. Also, something to look out for next week is a Super 7 themed episode. What could that mean? You'll have to read between the lines, and hopefully I can get it edited in time, but it's happening next week. Very excited for that. So we'll hopefully be able to get some, well, I'm not going to say anymore. I don't want to ruin it. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great day. Thanks again for everything, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having you join me for all the comments and everything. What we do at the end of all these episodes, as you're all aware of, is we do a battle cry. So after 3, and everyone better do it. 1, 2, 3. Full force. I hope you did it. I'm going to just double check. I'm not going anywhere until someone says it. I'm not going until... There you go. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle Hall, you said it first. Thank you very much. I know some of you said it before. They're all flowing in now. But thank you, guys. See you on the next one. Full force. And then...
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full force.